Hey guys, welcome to Deep Dive Coding. Today we solve LeetCode problem of the day, and this is a very easy problem. So yeah, and in this video I will explain first questions. First explain the question, then simulate the test case, build the mathematical formula for this code, and finally give the code explanations and complexity analysis. So without further delay, let's start the video. So question is given as we are given a nums array. This is an integer array, and we have to give a output, and there are few rules to build the output. What are the rules? First rule is if the nums of I is greater than 0, that means if the nums of I is positive. If it is positive, then we have to pick the element nums of I offset to the right in the circular fashions. What it means, let's say we are in the first positions. This is the 0th index, 0 1 2 3. We are in the first positions to take to calculate the value. So it's have taken a 3, and which is greater than 0, that means it's positive. And then we have to go to the right up to at third positions, that means -2 1 and 1. So 1 is over here, so it will give you answer as 1. And if you look into this one, here is in the second positions, second index have also have the 1, that is greater than 0, that means positive. And then we have to go one positions to the right, that it will give you the 1 as a answer. So according to that, it will give the 1. So now let's come into the second rules. If the nums of I it is less than 0, that means it is negative value. If it is negative, then pick the element nums I offsets left in circular fashion. That means we have to go, if it is negative, then we have to go the left directions. That means in the let's say index number 1 have -2, which is negative, so we have to go in leftward directions 2 unit. That means we first go to the 0th index, and from the 0th index, as it is a circular, so we go to the third index, and this is the second positions from this one. So we give the answer as 1 as the output. So it is already given as 1. So that means uh, let's build this way. I will explain in the test case simulations. Now if the third rule says that if nums of I equal to 0, so we have to pick that elements only. So there are you can consider this nums of I is an offset. So if it is positive, then we have to go that much steps to the right directions, and if it is negative, then we have to go that much positions in the left directions. Now output is we have to give the output as result array with the updated value. So we have to just return that whatever value we already build. Now let's simulate the test case part. So you can consider this way, as it is already given circular, so 3 -2 1 and 1. So let's draw in a circular fashion. So yeah, let's build the circular fashions. Now calculate for the index number 0. So this value, it is given as 3, so we have to go in the right directions. So it will go to the 3 steps. It will go from -2 1 and 1. So it will in the first 0 this first 0th index, it will give you the 1 as answer. Now go to the second first index, that will give you the -2. So -2 is over here, and we have to go in left directions. That means now we have to go in these directions. From -2 we go 3, and 3 to 1. This is the 2 steps. So accordingly it will give you the 1 as answer. So from here to here, it will give you the 2 steps, and in the first one is -3 to here, it will also give you the 1. Now come into the second index, that is 1. So this one, and we have to go one directions to the left, sorry, to the right, as it is already positive. So one directions right, this will give you the 1. So yeah, over here also 1, and at the last index, that is index number 3, this is also 1. So from this one we have to go 1 unit right directions. That means we are give the answer as 3. So over here is 3. And if you look into the second example, -1, let's build the circular first, circular cycle this way. Let's connect it. Now this index is 0 1 2, and we just process this first element -1, that means this one. Then we have to go in the left directions 1 unit, so we go to the left directions 1 unit and we give the -1 as the answer. Now let's process for the first index, that means this one 4. So we have to go in the right directions, so it is 4 unit, so it will give you 1 2 3 and 4. So this will give you the answers as -1. And in the second index it is also -1. Second index means this one. So from this one we have to go in the left directions 1 unit, that means from here we go to the left 1 unit, then it will give you the answer as 4, as it is already built. Now I think you get the answer, question part. Now let's jump into the constraint. Let's look into the constraint. So constraint is quite low. That is, first of all, it's nums dot length starting from 1 to 100, and nums of I is also quite low, that is -100 to 100. Now as you already noticed that there are fixed pattern, that means we are traveling through, there are let's circle, and either we go in these directions to go to the right in the array, or I go in these directions to go left in the array. So that means there is always a formula, mathematical formula, like there are fixed set of rules. So this also possible to the mathematical formula. Now build the mathematical formula. There are two cases, positive case and negative case. And if the let's say nums of I equal to 0, and in this case is simple, we just return that positions only, current positions. But if it is positive case, then we have to go right, and if it is negative, then we have to go to the left. Now build the formula. Let's build the formula for the ith operation, like ith index. Let's say there is an array, this is an array, that means you can say this is nums, and these positions have the nums of I, and it is positive, that means nums of I greater than 0. Then we have to go in the right directions. Now let's consider the two steps. Now we have to move the positions steps towards the right, that means whatever value given over here, we have to go that much positions to the right directions and give that as an answer. So the if array is long, that means array is enough long, that means whatever value given over here, let's take an example, nums of I is given 2, and this is the 0, let's say this is the maybe 4th index, and this is the 100th index. That means there are 101 elements is present in this array. So if it is the 4 index, then 4 plus 2, it is 6, and this is the less than of 100, so we can immediately return that thing. That means we are doing the I plus nums of I as the new positions, and build and also assign that is answer I equal to nums of I plus nums I, that means we get that element. But if these portions I plus nums of I is greater than the size, then it will give you the out of bound access, that means the array is not defined there. So in that case we have to, that means in the array, let's say we are in these positions and we want to access in these positions, so but these positions we have to remap in this way, so that it will be the circular fashions. So what we do to reduce this value, this whole value 0 to n minus 1, we take the modulo operations. That means I plus nums of I, if we take the modulo n, so it will be under the 0 to n minus 1, that means 0 to n minus 1 limit. So it will give the valid answer, and it is actually true. if you look into this way, let's say you have few elements. Let's see, you are accessing this, so 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So you have the element, let's say 5 over here, so you go 5 steps towards right. So this is 1 2 3, from here to here it's 4, and this one give you the 5. So if you modulo these operations, that means 3 plus 5 and modulo with 7, so it will give you the 8 modulo. Okay, let's write the modulo. Yeah, so modulo it's 7, and 8 modulo 7 equal to 1. So this is the actual remainder if we divide 8 by 7. So, and you can also see these things as the first answer. So this is the modulo operations. So if we do the modulo operations, and it will give you for the positive case. Now let's, the more interesting part is negative case. But if the in the Python we have the negative modulo gives the positive, that means if we take the negative modulo, that is minus 2 modulo 5, it will give you as 3. But okay, but in the C++ or Java versions, it will minus 2 modulo 5, it will only give you the minus 2 only. So it will, we have to like extra, we have to extra focus for the negative part in the C++ and Java versions. Now let's consider this case, that nums of I is less than 0, that means it's negative. If it is negative, then I plus nums of I plus nums of I modulo n can be negative. That means let's say we are in this array, and we just want to track this element, and this element is, let's say, minus 100, and if we plot that element, this element in the array, so it will give you these positions. So these positions is not accessed from the, as it will give the out of bound access. So we have to remap these things towards from the right, so that it will be circular fashions. So it can give the negative as a result. So we want this portions as positive. So how you can do this portions positive? One simplest way, that means you can think of this simplest way, that I plus nums of I is give the negative, so we add n into k times to get it the positive, and take the modulo to get the inbound access. That, and how to define the value of k? So value of k would be the nums of I plus I, that means we are taking, okay, so it have to be the absolute value, that means absolute of nums of I plus I, that means it's positive, divided by n, and we are taking the ceiling operations. And if we do the ceiling and k, and it will give you the it will always give the positive, and taking the modulo operations always give the positive. But one simplified approach is, let's say we are in the positions, let's I consider as 2, and nums of I, let's consider this value, you can say 15 minus 15. So it will give you the answer as like this way, and let's consider n equal to 4. Now if you add these things like 2 minus 15, this will give you minus result, that means it will be minus 13. And if you do this mod with 4, it will give you how much? So it will give you minus 1 as answer. But if you reduce first this minus 15 initially, then it will always give you the inbound access. That means it will I2, then nums of I modulo n, that means minus 15 and modulo 4, and plus it will give you 4, and takes the modulo with 4. It will always give the positive answers. That means you can consider 2 minus this will give you 15, how much? It will give you minus 3, and plus 4 modulo 4, it will give you like minus 1, and 3 modulo 4, it will give you 3. So at the 3 index we can access that element. So this how you can build for the positive and negative case, but you can apply this for this is the general formula for the positive and negative case. So you can just apply this thing. So first of all, let's jump into the code. Code is always simple, like n equal to nums dot size, and we take a vector to store the answers. So we process from 0 to n, and that actually n minus 1, 0 to n minus 1, and answers of I is updated as I plus nums of I mod n plus n and modulo n, and at last we just return the answers as I already discussed in the mathematical formula, this formula. So this is actually important formula to consider. And in the complexity part, we are processing this much in big O of n time. So you can consider time complexity as big O of n, and space complexity would be, we are taking this space due to return the answers, but we did not take any space to calculate the answer. So you can say that auxiliary space complexity would be the big O of 1, but to store the answer take big O of n space complexity. Yeah, I think it's clear. And also for the Java and Python code, I will exactly similar, like I will also attach in the that LeetCode blog or LeetCode solutions thread. Thank you guys, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and if you guys like this video, please like it and also subscribe the channel. Thank you guys.